Hi everyone, it's Stu here from 3B, and today I'm going to be talking about Asgard's Wrath, the VR game that is taking the VR world by storm. My question is, quite simply, is Asgard's Wrath the saviour of VR? When you consider that the last few years, since VR became a thing, thanks to Oculus, a lot of the experiences and games on VR, regardless of platform, were, let's just be generous, not that great. They were either sort of experiences, what they would sort of liken to be experiences, which was an excuse basically to make a short demo and then sell it. There was an awful lot of those. At the very beginning there was just tons of those. Thankfully over time games did evolve, but a lot of them were kind of sort of puzzle type games really. There was nothing fundamental where there was a game that was that really brought what we all hoped VR would be. And for a long time it was becoming progressively unlikely that we would not really see much, if any, VR game that was a AAA game that lasted more than a handful of hours, where you were completely enveloped in a world that you could truly believe in and felt part of. There was a few really that that we've had. There was the space game Echo, and what was the other one? There was one on PSVR, Truth and Blood, or whatever it was called, Blood and Truth, which was pretty good, but the tracking was pretty awful. So other than that, most of them, for me, have predominantly been puzzle games and so on. So when I heard about Asgard's Wrath, I was really, truly excited. But I didn't want to get too excited, because for so long with VR, for the years that VR has been around in its current form, we've been promised all sorts of sort of games that would be amazing and then turn out to be pretty poor or just sort of average. So when Asgard's Wrath was announced, it looked incredible, and when I finally got my hands on it on the day of release and downloaded that enormous file, it was just it was a breath of fresh air. It was like, this is what everyone that's involved in VR, that's wanted VR to be something of an experience that was just more than just, you know, the demos and everything that we've had before. And Asgard's Wrath knocks it out the park. It really truly does. And for me, I really feel this couldn't come at a better time. We've got the new iteration of VR headsets coming through, and we're getting a wider adoption of VR through the Oculus Quest. And with the adoption of the and development of the link cable for the optical Quest, for those that have a powerful enough PC, can attach their Quest to their PC and play Asgard's Wrath. And I think this is such an enormous shot in the arm for VR and for the adoption of VR, because people will see this game and want to be part of it, want to play it. Many of those that have Quests will, you know, possibly maybe have PCs, or maybe be inclined to get a PC or build a PC that will be able to play something like that. And this just shows you what is possible when you develop a VR game from the ground up that allows you to become part of a well thought out story, a well thought out universe, using control schemes that are that are developed from the ground up using VR, where it becomes natural. Now there is some niggles with Asgard's Wrath. You know, it's not completely perfect, and I'm sure they will iron some of those out. Sort of when you're in combat and you're being hit a lot, which in my case is an awful lot, to get sort of any form of spell or sort of healing potion is a bit of a faff, because you're trying to fight, and when you have the menu up you're still being sort of attacked. So and some of the environments you can't really run away and they're attacking you, so you end up wrestling so much. So, you know, there are some niggles there, but they're very small when you consider the whole. So for me, I think Asgard's Wrath is such a key moment in VR, in that it will bring a whole new audience of what people had hoped VR would be, and now can see that in reality. And yes, VR games, like any AAA game, take an awful long time to develop, but I'm now really excited to see that we're starting to see those come through. We've got Stormland coming next month, you know, it is the beginning of us as VR enthusiasts to experience these amazing games. So do you think that Asgard's Wrath is sort of a key moment in VR gaming? Are there other games that you believe are a worthy mention of being sort of key VR games that are either coming out or are out already, and which headset are you using? So that's me for now. It's an incredibly exciting time in VR. I'm really excited about what's happening. I'm excited about Stormland next month. Not too sure I'm going to have too much time playing it though, because there's games on PC I'm playing. There's Asgard's Wrath, of course, which is 20-30 hours. So it's great. It's a great time of year for us gamers. To keep updated, don't forget to click the bell. It's somewhere around here, there somewhere, so you get alerted when I've done a new video. Don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. That would be really great. Thank you. And give me a thumbs up and let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts about, you know, where VR is right now, what you think of the current new games that are coming out, and Asgard's Wrath, and the headsets. Let's try and create a bit of a conversation. All right, thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Take care.